James Corden thought he could get away with it. New York, 2022. Inside Balthazar, one of Manhattan's busiest restaurants, he exploded, screaming at waiters, threatening reviews, demanding free drinks, all because of an omelet. The owner banned him on the spot. A global headline followed, and then came the fatal mistake. Instead of accepting blame, Corden brushed it off. He claimed he'd done nothing wrong. The apology he gave was hollow, the arrogance undeniable. This wasn't an isolated outburst. It was the unmasking of a man who had built an empire on fake charm. For years, he sold himself as the grateful everyman, the safe late-night host, the friend to every celebrity. Behind the curtain was something else: entitlement, cruelty, and ego. That scandal was the final crack in a facade already collapsing. Carpool Karaoke exposed as staged, movie roles ridiculed, his talk show sinking in ratings. By 2023, CBS didn't just lose patience, they pulled the plug on the entire franchise. This is not the story of a comedian who lost his way. It's the story of a man who weaponized likability, got caught, and paid the price. This is the deserved downfall of James Corden. James Corden didn't appear out of nowhere. He hustled through the British entertainment scene, scraping together bit parts in musicals, TV soaps, and forgettable films. None of it stuck. Then came Fat Friends, a small drama, a recurring role. More important, a friendship with co-star Ruth Jones. Together, they built Gavin and Stacey. Corden played Smithy, loud, funny, but endearing. The show was a phenomenon. A Christmas finale watched by more than half of Wales. A BAFTA for Corden. Overnight, he was Britain's new golden boy. His persona worked. The grateful everyman, humble, charming, the underdog who made it. Fans believed it. The industry believed it. But behind the smile, another side was already leaking through. Fame was intoxicating. Even Corden admitted later he thought he was more of a dude than he really was. Family and friends warned him. His sister told him flat out, "James, don't be a dick." But the mask was slipping. The ego was growing. And soon, the real James Corden would break through. The success of Gavin and Stacey should have been Corden's launchpad. Instead, it inflated his ego. Horn and Corden, a sketch show meant to prove his talent. It was a disaster. Critics called it about as funny as Credit Default Swaps, canceled after one season. Next came Lesbian Vampire Killers. Even worse, a box office bomb, a 28% Rotten Tomatoes rating. The audience began to doubt him. The image of the lovable Smithy was fading. Then came the Glamour Women of the Year awards. Patrick Stewart, a national treasure, called Corden out for looking bored on stage.
Oh, you couldn't be more wrong, sir. You couldn't be more wrong.
Corden snapped back, mocked Stewart, mocked his age, mocked his weight. What should have been a moment of humility became a public tantrum. The charm was gone. The mask had cracked. But in entertainment, notoriety can still open doors. And for James Corden, those doors were about to lead across the Atlantic. Craig Ferguson steps down from The Late Late Show. CBS needs a replacement. Against all logic, they picked James Corden. The U.S. audience barely knew his name. Replacing Ferguson, a cult favorite, looked like a death sentence. But Corden had one weapon Ferguson never used: viral content. He built segments designed for the internet: Carpool Karaoke, Spill Your Guts, group interviews packed with celebrities. Clips went everywhere: Adele rapping Nicki Minaj, Paul McCartney revisiting Liverpool, millions of views, tens of millions. Suddenly, James Corden wasn't just surviving, he was dominating. CBS looked like visionaries. Hollywood gave him the Tonys, the Grammys, the biggest stages. Corden had become the entertainment industry's golden boy. Safe, harmless, likable. Or so it seemed, because while the world fell for the everyman act, the people working closest to him saw something else: arrogance, contempt, and ego waiting to explode. The cracks appeared on his own stage. During Spill Your Guts with Jimmy Kimmel, Corden was asked to name 2 cameramen. He couldn't. Not one. The excuse: different crew tonight. The audience laughed. The staff didn't. To them, it confirmed what they already knew. He didn't care about the people behind the camera. October 2017. The Harvey Weinstein scandal dominates headlines. Corden opens a gala with a joke about it. The room turns cold. Laughter replaced by disgust. He wasn't edgy. He was tone deaf. Then came Reddit. His AMA collapsed within minutes. Fans posted story after story, tantrums at live tapings, abuse toward waitstaff, phone glued to his hand while others mingled. The most liked comment summed it up in one question: why are you such a deeply unpleasant person? Corden answered 5 questions before running. The mask of the everyman was gone. What remained was a portrait of a bully hiding behind charm. Cats. A $100 million disaster. Critics savaged it. Audiences walked out. Corden's performance? Called unbearable. Even Ricky Gervais mocked him at the Golden Globes. Asked later if he'd seen the film, Corden shrugged. "I haven't watched it." No defense of the cast. No defense of the crew. Just distance. The safe host suddenly looked cowardly. The Friends reunion. Fans were furious. Why him? He had no connection to the show. His presence felt forced. Then came the petition, over 100,000 signatures demanding he be kept out of the film adaptation of Wicked. It went viral. The internet wasn't laughing with him anymore. It was laughing at him. The Golden Boy had become a punchline, and the fall was only accelerating. October 2022, New York. Balthazar. James Corden erupts over an omelet, shouts at waiters, threatens reviews, demands free drinks. The owner bans him, posts the story on Instagram. It explodes worldwide. The charming late-night host, now front-page news as an entitled bully. Corden scrambles, apologizes just enough to be unbanned, then undermines himself, says he did nothing wrong on any level. It wasn't contrition, it was arrogance. The story fit every rumor fans already believed. The diva on set, the tantrums backstage, the cruelty toward staff. The mask was gone. This wasn't Smithy. This wasn't the friendly host. This was the real James Corden, entitled and exposed. And the fallout was only beginning. January 2023. A video leaks. James Corden's Carpool Karaoke isn't real. His car towed by a rig. The illusion shattered. For some, harmless. For others, proof. Everything about him was fake. Viewers tuned out. Ratings for The Late Late Show dropped to historic lows, from nearly 1 million a night to barely 600,000. Millions lost for CBS. April 28, 2023. Corden steps away. His excuse: family. Nobody bought it. The damage was irreversible. CBS didn't even replace him. They killed the show. 8 years of late-night history ended, not because of the format, but because of the man in the chair. James Corden left America the way he entered it, unwanted. Back in the UK, he returned to theater, reprised Smithy, tried to revive nostalgia, but the shine was gone, the trust destroyed, the downfall complete. His downfall wasn't just deserved, it was inevitable. And that's why stories like this matter, because behind every smiling host, every viral clip, every polished persona, there's a truth waiting to break through. If you want to keep uncovering the real stories behind the rise and fall of fame, this is Tales Script. Subscribe and don't miss the next fall from grace.